There are many different ship classes in EVE Online. For this video, we are going to take a look at the frigate class. These are the smallest ships in EVE Online that are not solely for travel purposes. The first class of combat, exploration or harvesting ships. The Empire factions alone currently have 6 T1, 3 faction and 8 T2 frigate hulls. There are 3 harvesting frigates and 11 pirate faction frigates, as well as many expensive special edition frigates including the Alliance Tournament prize ships. Since EVE is a living game, this list is based on the situation in March 2025 and will probably not remain correct. Such as most other classes in EVE, frigates can either be sorted by their tech level or by their main function. There are hulls specialized in combat, exploration, mining or electronic warfare, with the faction and T2 ships usually being more powerful and needing more skills to be flown properly. Frigates are generally very fast and agile, but lack the defensive capabilities and raw DPS of larger classes. They are my favorite ships to fly, so I cannot claim this overview to be objective. They require a few in-game skills to get started, but are one of the most challenging classes of ships to master as a player. Well fitted and well flown, they can be extremely annoying and even very dangerous to much larger ships, but if you add some friends and undock a small fleet, they can take down insane things. Let's start with a look at the exploration frigates. Each empire owns a T1 and a T2 variant. The T1 variant is the first ship for every new explorer. It has a large cargo bay, decent speed and bony to scanning equipment and relic or data analyzers. Its T2 variant can warp cloaked and is part of the CovOps ships. It has stronger exploration-related bony and can fit a covered Sino. Then there are the Astero and Metamorphosis, pirate frigates offering even stronger bony for a serious price tag. They also have pretty good offensive capabilities for their class. All in all, explorers tend to fly squishy ships with valuable cargo, so they should focus on running and hiding instead of taking a fight, which does not mean that a decently fitted exploration frigate is not a scary PvP ship. Then there are the harvesting vessels. The T1 Venture is the go-to for all things mining. New players and alphas can find no better ship for the task. It has a relatively large cargo hold and can be very effective even with a cheap fit. The built-in warp core stabilizers makes the Venture difficult to catch for unprepared hunters, and the 2 drones allow it to deal with aggressive NPCs and the belts. Its T2 sisters, the Endurance and the Prospect, have larger cargo holds and stronger bony on either gas or ice mining. The Endurance can easily fit a cloaking device, but it cannot warp undercloak. The Prospect though can not only warp undercloak, but also light a covered Sino, making it an easily underestimated hunter. Now let's get to the E-War frigates. These nimble vessels fight as support crafts in larger fleets. They are not very skill intensive, so they can be flown by young characters, but their high effectiveness makes them a primary target and a very difficult role to fly for new players. Large groups tend to give the T1 versions out to newbies so they can go their first steps in fleet PvP without worrying about losing their ships and using the large number of ships available in the hope of keeping a few of them alive and effective in battle. The T2 ships are extremely effective in small gang scenarios and are usually flown by very experienced pilots. The electronic countermeasures used as weapons by these type of frigates can disrupt the target's abilities to target or shoot someone or increase the enemy's signature radius to make them easier to hit. Then there are the Logi Frigates. Every faction has a T1 and T2 version of the repairing support ships. During battle, these pilots repair the shields or armor of their allies to increase survivability. They are a primary target and require some piloting skills, but are a great force multiplier. 10 DPS ships apply a high amount of damage, but they die pretty quickly. 7 DPS ships apply less damage, but with the 3 Logi they survive and apply those DPS. Some crazy people fly Logi ships in a so-called spider tank scenario, where they each have some DPS and some repair modules, making up an entire fleet of armed healers that are very difficult to break due to the lack of designated roles to primary. There are also the tackle frigates. Each empire owns 1 T1 and 2 T2 versions of these fast and fragile ships. They have a very high base speed to catch up with their targets, good sensor strength to lock them fast, and a bonus to tackle module cap usage. They are very useful in larger fleets and often secure kills for an entire group. Nevertheless, only the best tackle pilots survive for the entire fleet, and suicide tackle is a common encounter. The T2 versions, called interceptors, are very fun ships to fly, but again pose the primary target of enemy FCs. One of the 2 interceptors has a range bonus for tackle modules and can fit an interdiction nullifier to escape warp bubbles. The other one has a little bit more DPS and a 100% bonus to the effect of overheating propulsion modules, gaining a higher peak base speed. Some of them, like the Galante Taranis, reach incredible DPS for their size, but usually they do not fit guns and save their fitting space for tackle, speed and tank. Finally, there are the combat ships. Each empire fields 2 T1 and 2 T2 frigates that specialize in applying DPS. One of the T1 versions generally has a bit more tank, while the other one has better DPS boni. One of them uses the faction's primary weapon, and the other one often fits the secondary guns. Combat frigates are used in usually low-level PvE, but can also encounter great challenges in some special missions called burner missions. For me, their main use is PvP. They are incredibly fun to fly as fast-paced solo PvP, and can tag down large enemy vessels when working together. The T2 versions, the assault frigates, are generally less interested than their T1 counterparts. They have good tank, strong DPS and the frigate's innate high speed. Large groups of them are very dangerous. They can also fit the special assault damage control that gives them around 20 seconds of near immunity to incoming DPS, as it increases their resists for a short amount of time. Now there are only the bombers left. Each empire owns one of these T2 frigates. Technically they could be counted as exploration ship due to their capability of warping cloaked. These heavy frigates have very little tank, not much speed, and are the only frigates that can fit battleship-sized weapons. Their torpedoes give them incredible DPS over considerable range, but they can only apply that DPS to large, slow-moving targets. They are flown in packs, and a good group of bombers can turn the tide in smaller capital fights. They also have the unique ability to drop unguided bombs in null, Pochven and wormhole space. These projectiles fly 30 kilometers into a single direction and detonate, applying area of effect damage or energy neutralization. There are also a number of pirate faction frigates. Each has unique talents and poses a serious threat. Taking a deep dive into all of them would require a lot of time, so let's make it short. They have high DPS, good tank, good speed, ugly E-war capabilities and are generally expensive and beautiful. In strength, they could be compared to some assault frigates, but they are a class of their own. The Empire faction frigates are split into 3 groups and form the link between T1 and T2 hulls. Each empire has one built for pure combat, one created for PvP exploration, and one designated as an E-war platform with serious DPS. They are great solo ships and can be very fun to fly. There are also a bunch of strange special edition frigates that are usually only collector's items, although some of them have very niche rules. Now there are only the incredibly expensive AT price ships left. These frigates are only available in limited numbers as prizes for the biggest PvP tournament of EVE Online. They are overpowered and extremely expensive. Most people never see one, but if you meet one, make sure to shoot it a bit. With all of this, I think I should have covered most of the basics of flying frigates. Let me know if I missed important parts. Maybe this gave you an incentive to try out some of these small and fun ships again as well. Thanks for sticking through the video and fly safe!